History remembers emperors, conquerors, and kings. Men who built empires with armies and fear, their names carved into stone, but history is usually written by the victors, and it often forgets the women who stood in the path of empire and refused to move. This is not a story about queens who ruled from thrones. It's a story about women who went to war. Our first story begins in Roman-occupied Britain. In the 1st century AD, Boudica was queen of the Iceni tribe. Her husband, Prasutagus, tried to protect his people by naming the Roman emperor co-heir to his kingdom. He believed Rome would honor the agreement. Rome did not. After his death, Roman officials seized the land, publicly flogged Boudica, and violated her daughters. What Rome saw as authority, Boudica experienced as humiliation and injustice. That moment changed everything. Her personal suffering became a rallying cry. Tribes that had endured Roman rule in silence rose together behind her. Boudica was no longer just a queen. She became the face of resistance. With a massive tribal army, she struck back at the heart of Roman Britain. Camulodunum burned, Londinium fell, Verulamium was destroyed. For a brief, terrifying moment, Rome lost control. A woman had pushed the empire to the brink. But empires rarely fall easily. Roman legions regrouped. Discipline and strategy overcame numbers and fury. Boudica's rebellion was crushed on the battlefield. Rather than be captured and paraded through Rome, she chose her own fate. She lost the war, but she exposed something Rome never wanted to admit. Empires can bleed, and Boudica was not the only woman who proved it. Now, let's travel further back in time, to the vast steppes of Central Asia. Around 530 BC here, we meet Tomyris, the queen of the Massagetæ, a confederation of nomadic warrior tribes. Her lands bordered the ever-expanding Achaemenid Empire, ruled by Cyrus the Great. Cyrus was a legendary conqueror who had built the largest empire the world had yet seen. He set his sights on the lands of the Massagetæ and saw a political opportunity. He proposed marriage to Tomyris, not out of love, but as a way to peacefully annex her kingdom. Tomyris saw through the ruse. She was no naive ruler to be tricked by a political marriage. She rejected his proposal, warning him to stay within his own borders. Her refusal was a direct challenge to Cyrus's authority and ego. Spurned and determined, Cyrus decided to take her kingdom by force. He led his massive Persian army across the Araxes River into her territory. In an initial skirmish, the Persians used a cunning trick. They left behind a camp filled with wine, a drink the Massagetæ were unfamiliar with. A detachment of Tomyris' army, led by her son Spargapises, found the camp, drank heavily, and were easily captured. When Spargapises sobered up and realized his dishonor, he took his own life. The death of her son transformed Tomyris' defiance into a vow of bloodthirsty revenge. She sent a message to Cyrus, promising to quench his thirst for blood. Gathering her full forces, she met the Persian army in a battle that the historian Herodotus described as one of the most ferocious in ancient history. The nomadic warriors of the Massagetæ, fighting on their home turf, were relentless. They overwhelmed the mighty Persian army. Cyrus the Great, the seemingly invincible conqueror, was killed in the fray. True to her word, Tomyris searched the battlefield for his body. When she found it, she had his head cut off and plunged it into a wineskin filled with human blood, declaring, "I warned you I would quench your thirst for blood, and so I shall." Tomyris not only defended her people's independence, but also delivered a stunning defeat to a legendary empire builder. She proved that power was not about the size of an empire, but the will to defend one's home. Our final story takes us back to the Roman world. But 3 centuries after Boudica, in the 3rd century AD, the Roman Empire was in a period of crisis, weakened by internal strife and constant threats on its borders. In the east, a new power was rising from the desert city of Palmyra. Its ruler was Zenobia, originally the wife of the Palmyrene king. She took power as regent for her young son after her husband's assassination, but Zenobia was no mere placeholder. She was brilliant, educated, and fiercely ambitious. She didn't just want to manage Palmyra, she wanted to build an empire of her own. Seizing the opportunity presented by Rome's weakness, Zenobia launched a series of stunning military campaigns. Her armies, led by skilled generals, conquered Egypt, a vital source of grain for Rome. They swept through Anatolia and the Levant, carving out a massive territory that rivaled Rome's own eastern provinces. For a time, Zenobia controlled a vast eastern empire, stretching from modern-day Turkey to Egypt. She styled herself as an empress, challenging the authority of Rome itself. She wasn't just a rebel, she was a rival emperor. Her success, however, inevitably drew the full attention of Rome. The new emperor, Aurelian, was a determined military man tasked with reuniting the fractured empire. He marched his legions east, systematically reclaiming the territories that Zenobia had conquered. Despite fierce resistance, Zenobia's forces were pushed back to Palmyra. The city was besieged and eventually fell. Zenobia was captured while trying to flee to Persia. Unlike Boudica, she did not take her own life. Instead, she was taken to Rome. Accounts differ, but the most famous version says she was paraded through the city in golden chains during Aurelian's triumphal procession. While her empire was short-lived, Zenobia's ambition and meteoric rise left a permanent mark on Roman history. She was the queen who dared to build her own empire from Rome's ashes. Boudica, Tomyris, and Zenobia. 3 women, Three empires, three different paths of leadership. One was driven by revenge, another by defense, and the last by ambition. But they all shared an unyielding will to defy the expectations of their time and challenge the most powerful forces they knew. They refused to be pawns in a world of kings and emperors. Their stories, often relegated to the footnotes of history, are a powerful reminder that the fight for freedom, home, and power is a human story, not just a man's. If you want more stories like this, stories history didn't expect you to remember, subscribe.